that dividing of rooms and people into feet, dividing of journeys into legs. The same person who tangled the ocean? Also, it was the smallest plane I'd ever seen. I didn't know they made them that small. My suitcase would never fit, let alone me and that big pilot. "My luggage won't bring the plane down, will it?" I joked. The pilot turned a critical gaze on the suitcase. "Why?" he asked. "What's in it?" He tested its weight with one of his big arms, laughed softly, and got on with checking over the plane. It seemed like the kind of thing someone else should do, checking the plane. If we have to divide a journey into legs, we may as well divide it into fields of expertise. As it was, the whole thing seemed very Sunday afternoon amateurish. He was saddling up his horse. "That plane is not a horse." "She's a twin-engine Cessna," the pilot called, which was unnerving. The letters OWW were printed on the aeroplane's side, and I was thinking that this was a mistake when the other passenger turned up. "Don't you think that's tempting fate?" I asked her as she put her suitcase down beside me, "or defining destiny? At some point that plane is going to have to say, 'Ow.'" "Ha ha," said the woman beside me. 2 words. Ha ha. Difficult to interpret. "It's going to fall out of the sky," I elaborated, "or a missile's going to hit it." The woman said, non-committal. She was maybe thinking that missiles were unlikely. This was just a flight to an island in Bass Strait, the stretch of water dividing the mainland from Tasmania. I will be honest with you, I had never once turned my mind to that stretch, nor to any islands it might contain, until just last week, when the invitation arrived. Turns out there are over 50 tiny, windswept islands in Bass Strait, including King Island, which I already knew, the cream and the brie, and Flinders, where in 1830 they exiled the last of Tasmania's Aboriginals. Taylor Island, where I was headed, is southeast of Flinders, has a population of 300, a lighthouse, and is renowned for its tiger snakes, mutton birds, and yellow-throated honeyeaters. After a moment of silence, the other passenger started talking. She was oblong-shaped, this passenger, dressed in a tangerine suit, and she said that her name was Pam. "Just plain Pam," she explained. "Though wouldn't I have killed to be called Pamela?" You wouldn't have to kill someone. You could just change your name by deed poll. But I let it pass. Pam, it turned out, was a local of the island heading home after a holiday. Easily her favourite part of her trip had been the Chinatown in Melbourne, because Pam was a lover of steamed pork dumplings and a collector of bootleg DVDs. It was a 4.5-hour flight, and we all fitted into the plane. The big pilot, me, Pam, the luggage. No trouble. Sometimes the pilot spoke into his radio. "Oscar Whiskey Whiskey, how do you read?" His voice cool and low, and "how do you read" forming a single word, "how do you read?" Each time he said it, I would think, how do I read? Well, I turn the pages, my eyes scan the letters, even though I tried to stop myself, even when the joke got old. Pam kept shouting stories the whole way, only pausing when the pilot asked how to read. Pam told stories about chopsticks and how she learned to use them, and strawberry farmers and how they have bad teeth. Oh, the stories I could tell. But you are, I thought. It's funny the way relationships can shift. Originally, I had been the queen bee, making my humorous remarks about "ow," while Pam was demure. But right away she had stepped up to take over the role, maybe doubting my ability. At first, I ranged around for matching stories, but the effort of shouting them over the roar of the plane, or maybe the air outside was roaring, either way, it made my stories increasingly pointless, unworthy, so I stopped talking, the way you do at nightclubs, and it was all just reaction. Smile, frown, exclaim, or laugh at Pam. Pam seemed happy. But now here I was standing on the airstrip on Taylor Island, and the tall man was saying, "Snow." Just confusion. That was all I had left. Snow could be a command. All visitors on arrival at the island are required, please, to snow. Or it could be the tall man's name, in which case I should shake his hand and say, "Sorenson, Abigail Sorensons." There was a long, formal pause. The tall man's smile faded. Creases settled into the edges of his eyes. Something seemed to cross his face. A mild incredulity, I realised at the fact.